Hello, my name is Aandrea, and welcome to the second episode of my podcast. The first episode was like a super lame 1 minute and 36-second intro that didn't really explain anything about me or about my podcast. Give me a second. Austin, you're going to have to turn your television down because I could hear it mumbling in the background yesterday. Thank you, honey. Austin, you're turning it up. Can you turn it down? And maybe close your door. And maybe close your door. Thank you. Also, can you just go pause the TV I was watching? Go pause the TV I was watching.
Okay, can't do everything at once.
I didn't ask you to do it all at once. So, on my first episode, I was not very clear about what my podcast would be about. I wasn't clear about who I am. I'm Aandrea, which I previously said. I'm a mom of 3. I work 2 jobs. I have a lot of life experience in general fuck up. I've made a lot of mistakes. I have been a magnet for people who make a lot of mistakes. Go sit down. I cannot begin to explain how. Austin, please turn your TV down. Austin, please turn it down or turn it off. Austin, close your door. Also, most of my podcasts, that probably will happen because even having fun with a podcast, you still have to parent your children. So,
Oh wait, I'm getting my drink.
getting your drink. He's getting his drink. Okay. Well, let's see. You good? Okay. In the grand scheme of things, I think that I'm an intelligent woman who has. I said I didn't have unique insight, but everyone's insight is unique because we are all completely different individuals that have experienced things in a way that someone else hasn't, whether it's based on your race, your age, your sex, your attractiveness, or your unattractiveness. I still don't know where I am on the spectrum, not the actual spectrum, but the spectrum of unattractive or attractive. So today we're going to talk about trust. In my 38 years, I have been, for the most part, trusting in a very naive way, even into my 30s. And then all of a sudden, I didn't believe anything anyone said. I mean, anything. If my boyfriend said it was cold outside, I did not take his word for it. I immediately checked the weather. I did not take the Weather Channel's word for it. I went outside to see for myself. So that is my level of distrust of humans these days. I don't even trust that this stray cat Lucy actually likes me, or she just wants to be fed, which is a cat thing, which is fine. Because apparently now I'm a cat person. My friend said I'm a cat person in the way that I'm like a cat. Like, I want your attention when I want your attention. And when I don't, I just don't want to be bothered, which I get too. Back to trusting. So, for the better part of my life, I grew up with not even the better part of my life. For the first half of my life, I grew up with my grandparents And then after that, I was obviously an adult, but I trusted everything and everyone. And excuse me if you heard me burp, I think that was loud. I trusted everything and everyone in my circle. And it was a broad circle. Like anyone that I had a good conversation with was considered a friend, which again is very stupid and childish. And that's what you are until you've had enough people stab you in the back or steal your checks and have you arrested for, well, we'll come back to that at a different time. um, but when you're little, you trust that your parents will protect you because that is their job. My parents did not, but my grandparents did. When you are a child, you trust that when you're bad together, your cousins won't tell on you. That again was a bad idea because the idea in your mind that we're all going to get a collective spanking anyway makes you hold the truth. Except for that one cousin who thinks that because she tells the truth, she won't also get a spanking for the initial lie, which not true. We all still got a spanking. I won't tell you what the lie was. It was ridiculous. Then as a teenager, you trusted that the boy that you liked would not stop speaking to you or not take you to prom, Johnny King, because he knew that you would not have sex with him because you were a lily girl. And that meant something. Like we had some kind of special hold on virtue. That is also not true. Lots of my aunts got pregnant before they were married. I got pregnant out of wedlock. So I don't know about virtue, but attractive, sweet girls. And as an adult, dating boys who weren't men yet, who were so emotionally stunted that the lies that they continue to tell about love and understanding, you trust that they are only seeing you, that they do only love you, or that they do love anyone. You trust that they want to build a family with you and that they're not a raging alcoholic stacking a pile of beer cans in the backyard because they're secretly drinking. It's a lot to unpack. But past a divorce, past a failed relationship, a mother of three in a relationship now, I am so untrusting. Distrusting? I don't trust. It is so easy for me now to believe the worst, to believe every little thing is a lie. Every little thing. I track my car by GPS and I obsessively look at it when my boyfriend drives my car. Even though it has not been found that he is lying, this is just in case. He is. I stare at it and refresh it about every 30 seconds in a very obsessive way. And he could very well just park the car somewhere and go any other place he wanted. So there really is no reason for me to track it other than I like to be in a certain amount of control of things. And being in a relationship puts you out of complete control because you have to trust that the other person will do their part, that you are partners, that everything is 50-50, or if you have a really good man, 60-40. So today, I realized that me being distrusting, untrusting, not really trusting people is so toxic. Like, it makes me so upset. Like, even when I know that someone is telling me the truth, I want to believe that they are deceiving me in some way. And because I can't figure out what the deception is, then I am mad. I am furious to the point of complete silence because all of my energy is being placed in my head for the steam to come out of my ears. I'm only saying this on podcast because I am sure no one will listen. I would hope that people listen, but I am sure that they won't. And that's fine because people listen to celebrity podcasts, which is also fine. But you should, back to this, trust your peers. And I mean peers in income. We make the same lowly amount of money. We are not in the top 1%. You should trust that my life experience almost parallels yours. Unless you are a white man in America, then mine will never parallel yours. What else about trust? I trust blindly that my children will love me forever. My son says, "Mom, when I'm a grown up, I'm going to live with you." And so is my wife. And I trust that it is true, but I wish that it wasn't. Because once he finds a wife, I'm sure she won't like me because my boys have standards. I trust that my daughter will take care of my mother in her old age and not me because she loves my mother dearly. What else do I trust? I trust my faith in God because it has been tested the second half of 2019, and I just have to keep believing and praying that things will get better. Not like as a resolution, not in 2020, my life is going to change and be so great, but that things will be better because I want them to be better, because I will it to be better, because I know that God has a plan for me and I trust that. This is definitely a ramble, a little bit of a rant, which is what I promised for my podcast. And thank you for listening to me today. There's actually nothing to fact check. You can't fact check my emotions, and I haven't had wine today. So, not going with the title of the show, but thank you for the little bit of listen of 13 minutes today. Maybe it'll be longer. It's hard to talk to yourself or just out into the world and hope somebody hears you. Thank you for listening. I'm Aandrea Lilly with what's my podcast again? You better fact check because I had wine first. Thanks.